Benfica Podcast is one of the founding members of Benfica Independent. Benfica Independent is an independent platform made by fans for fans. And in it, you can find our podcast, along with many other podcasts, along with articles of opinion, video segments, and much, much more. We're also on Patreon, patreon.com/Benfica Independent, with exclusive contents for our patrons.
Hasta que no estás aquí dentro no sabes la grandeza de este equipo. Sí, es un club que tiene una grandeza que no se comprende si no estás aquí dentro.
São de uma magia única, benfiquista, que só nós sentimos assim. Por muitos desgostos que possamos ter, valores mais altos se levantam. E o valor mais alto que se levanta em termos futebolísticos chama-se Benfica.
Quero o Benfica intimidar o adversário. Quero um manto sagrado entrar com vocês em qualquer estado. E assustados, pá! É isso que eu quero!
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Talking to the Law Benfica podcast. My name is Alfredo Fumaças. Here we are every week bringing you the latest and greatest in Benfica land. And what a great day to be here after a win. With me, as always, Cristiano Oliveira. Como é que é, amigo? Diz aí olá aos senhores e às senhoras.
Olá, senhores e senhoras.
Tudo bem contigo?
Was that good? Yeah, I'm terrific. Yourself?
Terrific?
Yeah, I mean, been better, been worse. So no complaints.
You're alive.
So that's it. So I'm here for another night of Benfica Podcast. This shit sounds too loud. I got a pimple growing. Hopefully the 4K camera won't pick up on it. But
Sure.
Whatever. How you guys doing?
Good. Dave, how you doing?
Happy birthday, Dave.
Yeah, Dave, how was your birthday, man?
It was good. We joked before the podcast started. Birthdays after 30 is just another day. So
just when I was about to say, I remember when I turned 21, Alfredo. This guy hits me with the 30. You're that old, Dave. Jeez, I didn't think you were that
31.
old.
31.
Hey, no, man.
Wow, it's all downhill
So,
from there.
Dave, forget it. Forget
Yeah.
about it. You better get that
That's
diaper
it.
ready. It's all downhill.
Well,
That's
that's
right.
a diaper. There's still, I hope, knock on wood, I hope there's still some time to go before we get diapers into the equation. But it was still a good day, and I think the cherry on top was Benfica's performance today in Belgium. So, positive attitude, positive spirits coming into tonight's podcast here.
Man, the day that I say I'm going to follow Alfredo's instruction, I'm not going to talk about today's game because I know he's going to want to talk. He wants to go in order. He starts off with the positive win today. You start. I mean, the day that I decide to follow the
Just
script.
fluff and talk. Just fluff and talk.
The foolish conversation.
Just fluff and talk. We'll get there eventually. I just needed to have something to say. Welcome all the Freddies. Bob the Biller was first.
Epa.
Robert Fernandes.
What does he get? A tractor?
Nuno M. Nick Valadão. Chico Marcelino. Diogo Reis. M. Madeira. Flávio Ferreira. Cristiano Oliveira. Oh, that's you. I think I've
See, this is
John
why.
Moreira.
Yeah, you. This is why I don't like naming because then you forget somebody. Dirty Diggers. So we got Bob the Builder, Dirty Diggers. Yo, we're gonna start a construction company.
All we need is raining entertainment. It sounds
That's
like
it. We already got a DJ Natural Fire.
DJ Natural Fire.
Yo, hold on. DJ Natural Fire. Is there any chance that you take part in Benfica's campismo? Because it's Natural Fire, right?
Yeah, but what is DJ?
Is he part of? Oh, I don't know. He's a Natural Fire. Is he part of the team?
Yeah, but I think he means when he says natural fires like he's.
So
hot.
you're the
He's
music
hot. He's
guy.
like
That's what he means.
Probably.
Alfredo, that's why you the brains behind this whole operation.
Yeah. Who else is here? Taylor Aguiar.
Nuno M, Diogo Reis, Diogo, my man, Chico Marcelino de Crack,
Nelson Verbenfa.
Robert Fernandes.
Natural fires here. Yeah, you said there you
Estão
go.
todos aqui.
Dirty Diggers.
All
yeah.
the good. John Moreira.
And the men.
The Baladão brothers. There's only one Baladão. Where's the other one?
No, Nick is there.
What about the other one?
Manny's also there.
Ah, cracks, bro.
Manny and Nick Valadão.
Hey, pasó da
These
cracks,
guys
bro.
probably only see each other and talk to each other.
No,
during-
don't sell them
once a week.
short. Don't sell them short, bro. These guys are
They're not related.
They're brothers, bro. They pulling our leg.
They're brothers? Yeah, I know. But anyway, here we are. Another night, another podcast, as Mr. Steve Santos likes to
I'm
mention.
trying to get Steve to come on the podcast, Alfredo. I'm not sure you're
I'm
aware.
going to be honest with you.
We need to get him on. We need to get
We
him on.
were on, myself, Cristiano, Peggy, Marco from South Africa.
You love dropping names.
And
You love.
Steve-
Now these people are gonna feel left out.
No, I'm
The
just.
Freddies are gonna feel it.
we're
Just say
on-
me, you, and Steve. Come
No,
on.
we're gonna say we were on a chat, and this chat's been going on for years, right? And it's alarming to see how disconnected Steve is, because sometimes he asks me questions that if he was following Benfica, you would know, but he's not. So I kind of I have to educate him. So I can't ask him to come on a podcast.
Steve.
I can't ask him. Well, not educate him, but like update him on the news. I can't ask him to come on the podcast if the guy is not up to date.
I miss
He
Steve.
doesn't want to look stupid.
He's too
Like
nice.
how out of date are we talking? Like, does he know Antonio Silva's our center back there?
Yeah. But we're Steve.
He asked.
I think to help out Alfredo before he digs a deeper hole for his buddy here. I think what Alfredo means is like when it comes to lineups, right? Like today's lineup, he'll come to us and ask us, do you think this guy's the right play? Because since he's not in tune and watching every week, he really doesn't have an opinion if Chicon should be starting in a game like this. So he'll ask us. That he's the first.
No,
about that?
I'll tell you this. He asked us, how are the Danes doing? Number one is Danish, one is Norwegian, right? That number two. How are the Danes? Have they played any? You didn't even know they had played for
You know
the
what they
B
say
team.
about all the white guys? They look alike.
A foolish. Anyway, episode 474, and as you can tell from the title on the screen, the Champions is back. We'll recap the Champions game that happened today in Belgium at Club Bruges. But before that, we will look back at the Portuguese Cup game.
Do we have to, bro? We're on a high note. Just ignore that. Right? It's kind of like our neighbors up north. They just ignore history, and it's like it never happened. So we'll just do the same.
Yeah. No, look, I think we got to talk about it because there's a couple things here that, I want to touch up on. Obviously, it sucks when you get eliminated from a competition, especially a competition like the Portuguese Cup, which is the second most important trophy in Portuguese football. But also our lack of trophies for the Portuguese Cup.
I was going to say, so important, we decided to win 3 in the last, 80 years.
Yeah,
But yeah.
exactly. It becomes very important. It's like Sporting when they win titles. It's every 18 years.
Yo, bro, it's a rarity. You know what I mean? It's you see that shit in the Canal Preto Branco.
Yeah,
The History Channel.
We're all hoping that this was going to be the year. And let's get into the game, right? So, different approach for Benfica altogether. I think you got to look at the game, and I'll give you the lineup, and then we'll mention a couple things. We don't need to break down the game entirely, but we'll talk about a couple things, a couple topics that stuck out. Vlaco Dimos, Silva, Otamendi, Grimaldo, Tino, and Chiquinho. Should we call him Chiquinho or should we call him Chicon going forward?
The way the dude's, how do I put it? The huge step in importance that this guy's taking, playing full 90 in
for a
Champions
second,
League.
I thought
The dude Chicon.
For a second, I said I thought you were going to say the step in improvement.
No.
Did you say that?
the
Step in improvement? Has he improved in your
The
eyes?
importance that he's taking on this team. And again, look, get into it because I got a lot to say about this whole situation. So, look, but yeah, you could. I call him Chico.
Yeah, João Mário, Auschwitz, Neres, and Gedge. Ramos obviously had picked up a knock. Rafa wasn't ready to go, even though he made the bench. So that was our lineup. And look, I thought that Benfica started good. We were right on top of Braga, and 15 minutes in, we had a 1-up lead with a goal from Gedge from an assist from Neres. In the 20th minute, we had the probably the pivotal moment in this game. which was the non-PK call on Gonçalo Guedes. Ironically, the PK wasn't called by this ref, who was the ref that was on the VAR when Benfica played Sporting a few weeks back, if you guys remember, and gave or called Artur Soares Dias to the booth for him to look at a penalty that was identical. It was a carbon copy of the penalty that this dude called Artur Soares Dias to the booth to go and look at it, and Artur Soares Dias gave the penalty based on him calling him. Now, the penalty exists. He waves it off. I don't know what the VAR was doing. I don't know if they were, getting ready for Super Bowl Sunday or watching the Puppy Bowl or Lingerie Bowl or whatever they were. But
Bud Light Bowl.
The Bud Light Bowl?
Bud Light Bowl, most likely.
But the truth of the matter is that it's exact carbon copy of the same penalty and wasn't called. And this would have put Benfica 2 up.
Well, wait, pera.
If it scored, if Roma
Zero Arsenal a marcar, we would have squandered it. You know what I mean? Got to be fair. It would have given us an opportunity to possibly go up 2-0. How's that?
I think so.
I think Benfica started the game really well, Alfredo, and they definitely, you can tell they were out there to prove a point. And that one play, I think I mentioned it on Twitter at the time, which was, and to me, guys, and I know some of you will be like, come on, Chris, but it does go to VAR. Look, I just want to explain. To me, what, in my opinion, VAR, to me, is not the shit that happens somewhere up there that we have no idea what's going on, right? To me, VAR is when the referee stops the game and he goes to the little bullshit monitor. That's what VAR to me means. So I mentioned during the broadcast, I said, how does that play not at the very least go to VAR? So people are like, well, it did. But it was no, I mean, VAR, the referee, needed to, in my opinion, go over to the sideline and see it from a different angle and a different perspective. And they didn't even do that. And again, at first, when you seen it, it looked like it was a penalty. It looked soft. But as you've seen the different replays and different angles, I mean, that was clearly kicked him on his left leg, his left calf, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, and took him out of the play. And at the very least, these referees have to be consistent. I said it on Twitter, and I'll say it over here on the Benfica podcast, and I'll scream it as loud as I can. I've said it over and over and over and over. And I'm pretty sure all the Freddies in the chat right now, all the Freddies at home, everybody listening to what I'm saying right now agrees with me, which is the inconsistency in the refereeing in Portugal, the criterias, is just something that leaves us all speechless and leaves us all questioning what is not a foul, a penalty, what is a card, what is not a card. You have in that same game, when we're talking about criterias, right, and we're talking about VARs and replays in the whole situation, you fast forward a couple minutes, like 8 minutes, whatever the hell, 10 minutes, let's just say, to a play where Boss steps on PZ, and to me, it's a clear red card. When I first saw it, okay, yellow, I said, okay. But then once I saw a different angle and the referee went to the side, I said, that's a red card. It's all. But then in the second half, you have a very similar play in Ristic, I believe that's his name.
Yep.
Who's on loan from Valencia. Steps, I don't know who it is now. I forget which Benfica player it was at the time. Ausnes. Okay, steps on Ausnes' foot. Gets a yellow. Where's the criteria? And that's the thing that leaves us all speech. There's a saying, I've heard this saying, in American sports and stuff like that, because as you guys know, I'm big into American sports, but I've heard my boy Joe Boningo used to say all the time, like, bro, if you're going to be a bad ref, but be it for both teams. Don't be making bogus calls for one team and letting the other team get away with stuff. Like, if you're going to be bad, be consistent. Be consistently bad. If you're going to be good, be consistent. Be consistently good. Like, again, you know, some referees let players get away with a little bit more physicality, which is great, but you can't call every tiki-taka foul on Team A and then let Team B get away with physicality. It's just, bro, if you're going to be consistently bad, be consistently bad. Just all we want is to understand what the hell the criteria is, and we want to understand what is a foul, what is not a foul, and it leaves us all speechless. It was a game that Benfica looked like they were well on their way to advance. I mean, I understand it was still early. There's still a whole second half to play, and the game could absolutely turn. But Benfica came out to play. You could tell they suffocated Braga. Braga really wasn't posing much threat. It was all Benfica. And that play, as you stated, would have given Benfica the opportunity to go up 2-0, put the game to bed, But instead, we didn't get an opportunity. We didn't get an opportunity to score, I should say. And then a few minutes later, we're down a man. We had to play 90. This game, Alfredo, went into extra time. We had to play 90-plus minutes with 10 men when the refereeing was very inconsistent. The right back, I forget the guy's name, he committed at least 3 or 4 fouls that were yellow cards, kept getting away with it. Gomez, whatever his name is. We saw the same instance in the game against Sporting where Ugarte kept getting away. I think it was he got his first yellow after his 6th foul in the second half or whatever the hell it was. And again, this is that inconsistency, man. And for the life of me, I can't understand it.
Look, we could look back at key moments of the game. I mean, there's another play, the second yellow card that what's his name gets, the center back. I forget his name now. Muratu gets the second yellow card that Muratu gets. João Mario is fouled in the same manner. The dude didn't even get a yellow card. And here's the thing, right? And as Cristiano mentioned, if you're consistently bad, you're consistently bad. I've often thought, and maybe it's just the positive me of always giving people the benefit of the doubt, perhaps there's not good referee instructions and coaching, forming, whatever. Maybe the level of forming referees in Portugal is not at a caliber of an EPL, is not at a caliber of other leagues, right? So maybe that's where these referee incompetences come. But the thing is that when you show inconsistency, then that shows that there's deliberate actions that you take when you're refereeing.
But is it a gap in formation? Right? Is there a gap in education? Is there a gap in development of referees? Or is there what's the word I want to look for? The lack of volunteers to want to do this job in Portugal. Well, I mean, like, but
you're right. And that's
in England, I'm pretty sure there's a shitload of people that are trying to be referees. In Portugal, there might not be that. I mean, you suck, but you're the only one here. I guess you do.
But that's another topic that I want to touch. As a young kid, you love the game, right? You understand the game up and down. You just have no talent to play, right? So a lot of those guys turn to refereeing because they love the game, they want to be involved. But here's the thing. Who wants to be a referee at this day and age in the Tugão when you're constantly being threatened?
Family.
When you risk your life in every game, especially at the lower levels. I mean, we've seen examples where guys just get beat up, just like a couple weekends ago. There was a guy that got punched in the face in one of the lower divisions. Why would you want to do that?
You're a referee. You ever been scared of a little 8-year-old punching you?
No, but I mean, in the U.S., it's different, you know. The thing is that why would you want to do that? And the other thing that's often spoken about is that there's a lot of guys that will skip certain steps in their formation or levels, I should say. And the rumor is, and I don't know if this has ever been proved or not, but they have guys that are connected to
different associations
up north.
So you have a Lisbon association. Each district has their own association.
But there's guys that get fast-tracked, between levels. So it's rather than going level 1, level 2, level 3, they might go level 1, level 2, level 4. Now all of a sudden, because
especially if they're guys that don't talk back and just follow instructions.
Right, they're fast-tracked, and now are you a referee, and now do you feel indebted to the guy that provided you with the fast track? Look, for me, there has to be a whole study about and probably a reassessment on how we form referees. There should be some authority that is unbiased, that is able to form these referees in a normal, natural way without fear of pressure, without fear of fearing for your life, without fear of threatening, without fear of getting messages on your phone. I know where your kids go to school, blah, blah, blah. Without the fear of having a shop or a bakery and having the windows broken. that is the climate that these referees live under. So whether the guy wants to be competent or not, or wants to be as good as he could be, all these pressures from the outside are always going to condition the way they perform on the field. There's a reason why there were no Portuguese referees at the World Cup. Just think about that. Because the FIFA Referee Association sends guys out to evaluate all of these guys. And if they feel that they're not up to par, I rather send a referee from Venezuela than a Portuguese referee.
You and I had the privilege a few years back of being with a very famous referee, a guy that if we were to say the name, everyone would know clearly.
Howard Webb. You could say it. Why can't you say it? We had a chat with Howard Webb, as Howard Webb was the main guy that coordinated the efforts of the VAR here for the MLS. He was the guy that provided. Why can't we say? We can say his name, right?
We can say his name all we want. I just won't say what he told me. You want to talk. I
don't remember what he told us.
Okay, well, I'm not telling the story, guys.
We had a conversation. With him.
Mm-hmm.
We spoke about VAR. I don't know if we even spoke about Portuguese referees at the time.
We did.
And what did he say?
I forget. I'm not putting his business out there like that no more.
No, look, and if you guys
blame Alfredo. Blame
if
Alfredo.
you guys
Freddie.
know Howard Webb, right? Big Man U fan, right? But he's a guy that's been at the forefront, especially here in the United States, in terms of
he's become an instructor and stuff like that to educate referees. He's done that here. I think he's done that somewhere else around the world. That's his job now, is to just go ahead and make refereeing better.
Yeah, I remember the one thing that we spoke about with him was that he was the referee for the Portugal-Sweden game.
You know what's crazy? We spoke to him because we sat with him practically the whole game, but. The one thing I remember is the one thing I was about to tell.
Voila,
no, I won't tell it now. I won't tell. No, I
please.
can't do that. I can't put this business out there.
Dude, it was like
Professional reasons. You can't do it.
5 years ago.
I've already told you. There's certain things you always do this, right, Dave? Dave, how many times I'm like,
I think you've already mentioned this story in the past, but
maybe
without naming names.
yes, you can't. The dude's a professional. He can't put his name out there like that. You have to learn. But whatever, Freddy's blame Alfredo. But long story short, man, look, there's a lot of people who don't have the most positive opinion of Portuguese refereeing and Portuguese football in general. A lot of people I've spoken to, as you guys know, many professional coaches. Sir Alex Ferguson was a guy that bragged about Portuguese football. He told me he absolutely adored coming to Portugal and scouting players in Portugal because these guys were developed tactically, and it wasn't that big of a jump for them to jump into the EPL and adapt to things right away. But then also I've spoken to other guys that are like, bro, I don't want nothing to do with Portuguese football. I wouldn't touch it with a 25-foot pole. It's just there's a lot of negativity, and a lot of it has to do with stuff that goes on off the field. And stuff that, I've used the term here multiple times on a podcast, Alfredo. I mean, how many years, I've used the same term, which is, not term, but same example, which is if I can watch this nonsense, and I've talked about this from refereeing decisions, I've talked about this from coaching decisions at Benfica, at times when you and we thought that the coach, whoever the coach was at Benfica at the time, should have moved, should have made some changes, should have made some in-game changes, and I've always used the term, which is, if I can watch it from my own couch, how can you not? You get paid to do this. This is your job. And some way, somehow, you can't get it straight. And so Portuguese football is going through that dilemma. It feels like we're doing okay for a little while. Now it feels as if we're taking a huge step back. I don't know what the reasons are, but I'm pretty sure it's a combination of everything we've talked about. And yes, every team's going to get calls in their favor. Every team's going to get calls that we don't like so much. But again, as I've stated before, to me, the big thing in all this is the consistency and the criteria. If you stay consistent, you can't really question it. You know what I mean? Because you know what the outcome's going to be. You understand the outcome of the decision, I'm saying. Because, again, they've been consistently not calling this a foul. And all of a sudden, they change the script. It leaves everybody scratching their head and second-guessing themselves.
Yeah, especially when it's the same guy. But look, I feel that the fact that no referees were called for the World Cup, the referee association in Portugal, wherever the highest authority is of refereeing, regardless of what association you belong to, they should really have an introspective moment for themselves, right? Because why aren't any Portuguese referees in the World Cup, right? We have fifth best league in the world, you would say?
According to coefficient, we're sixth.
We're sixth? Okay.
Well, European. I don't know about world.
Well, but the thing is that a league where so much talent comes out of, and guys that become world-class players, regardless whether they're Portuguese, whether they just use Portuguese clubs as trampolines, whatever, but as a refereeing authority, as the number one guy in the country that's in charge of all the referees, if the fact that you didn't make the World Cup, any of your referees made the World Cup, it
should be embarrassed.
Doesn't lead to a moment of introspection,
reflection,
in a moment that you need to see, what are we doing wrong? What is this just a shitty generation of referees and better kids are underneath? Don't tell me that, because the dude that did the Benfica Estrela da Amadora game, he was just as bad. He was just as bad, and he was a young guy. So I think there needs to be a moment of reflection by these guys. Maybe get together with the FBF, get together with the league, pull in whatever resources you need to pull, but you need to look at how you're forming referees. You need to look at what kind of criteria are being used. You need to look at how referees control how much time of game is played. And you need to look at how referees call the games in general in terms of calling every little bullshit foul in Portugal. So this is kind of like, this should be a moment of awakening for these guys. Because I think that, when you peddle the league or market the league to be futebol com talento, but arbitragem sem talento. I'll get off on my soapbox shortly, and I hate to go on this tangent, but I just wanted to, the problem goes a lot deeper than just clubism. I think that there needs to be an assessment of refereeing structure, how we're forming, and how referees really approach the game in Portugal. If they're being coerced, threatened, then go to the authorities. But then again,
but this is deeper than that, bro. Because
it goes deeper than that.
You control the authorities.
But there should be a whole overall.
No, but dude, look again. This is not the time to talk about it, because we're to talk about Benfica. But it really becomes a deeper problem, right? You got to dig deep, which is a country that minimum wage is peanuts, right? It's one of the worst in all of Europe, and there's a lot less developed countries in Europe that are doing just as well as they. Now, I can't even say well, but doing what they're doing, or even better in some cases, right? So it's about raising that. It's about people making money. These referees are not making a whole lot of money. You mentioned the EPL before, right? These referees in the EPL making nice money. So the more money you make, the harder it is for you to be bought, right? It's a trickle down effect, right? And I don't know how to fix it. To be brutally honest with you, I don't know how to fix it. You like to think that these guys go into these professions and they're professionals. It's kind of like, you go into a doctor, you're trusting your life into a doctor, and this doctor is all worried about pushing some type of medication, some type of pill, some type of surgery just to fill his pocket, bro. It's just unethical. You know what I mean? And it's heartbreaking. But us as fans, we invest so much time into this, but is there really a fix? Do you see a fix on the horizon anytime soon? I don't. I mean, they've floated the idea of bringing in international referees for bigger matchups, but they don't want it. I understand from their part as well. I mean, because if you're bringing in international referees to referee a Porto's Benfica, you're admitting that we're shit, and at the same, you want to promote your own. Right. So, yeah, it's a slippery slope.
It's a slippery slope. I don't know how many of you, and look, after this game and seeing what else is going on with the B team also, and that was another shameful display of refereeing. But after seeing that, I'm thinking, man, if there was a European league where there was all these clubs from all these different countries, I probably wouldn't mind have Benfica go and play in a league like
Well,
that.
I've said that forever. I mean, I was here. Remember, Dave, I was pumping the chest the day they were talking about the Super League. I was like, let's go. You guys are the ones like, oh, no. Bro, football is a farce. It's just a bunch of people that want to control it. Why? Because they're fattening their pockets. Right? But at the end of the day, football's been the same for so long. Maybe it does need a change. I don't know. Whatever. But I'm not trying to rile up the Freddies. I ain't trying to piss anybody off. But Alfredo, it's just... You said something. Now you made me. I was gonna mention, but you now talking about the referee. But whatever, man. Look, at the end of the day, it's bad. It is what it. Oh, what I was gonna say to you, the one thing, and I'm not defending referees here by any stretch of the imagination, guys. But the one thing about the Portuguese culture, right? And you mentioned, oh, now the B team. I didn't watch the highlights, so I'm gonna take your word for it. But it's Dave. It's ingrained in your system, right? In the Portuguese culture, when you lose, it's always the referee's fault. It's always
There's scapegoats.
it's always the referee's fault.
There's a very fine line that you don't want to come off as sore losers, right? And at first, I've gone back and forth, especially with how Rui Costa handled it afterwards. Because one, you can make the argument that we look like sore losers, complaining when things don't go our way. But there are valid points and valid examples of calls that go one way for Benfica and calls that go for other clubs that don't get called. And if you need any more proof, just look at today's match. That penalty's called for us in a Champions League competition where 5 days ago or however many days against Braga doesn't even go to the VAR. The ref doesn't even go and take a look at it himself, right? So it's a very fine line. I don't want to become the club
Bruges
that
complain?
always...
You didn't see Bruges like chasing the referee
no,
for 20 minutes,
no.
right? I don't recall, right?
Nope. They took it.
Look,
They took it. Yep.
Yeah, look, I think it's a topic for a long discussion, but it's also a boring one. And there's a lot of people out there. Number one, as Cristiano alluded, people make very little money in Portugal, so they're always, if they're coerced or if they're got a money carrot dangled in front of their face, the decision's probably going to be easy, especially when they said, "Don't worry about it, we're going to protect you." Nobody is ever going to know. You know, it's an easy decision. But look, that's the country that.
Dave, how's the refereeing in the Canadian Soccer League?
Yeah, Dave, I was
Because you go out there, you get drunk. Do you get rowdy with the referees, Dave?
Sports referees, how are they?
Referees in all sports. I hate to break this to you, Alfredo. They're always getting the brunt of the abuse from the fans or the supporters, right? So, but I mean, for the most part, we don't have VAR in our league. It's a newer league, so there's no VAR. So what the ref says, the ref goes. I mean, I wouldn't say it's terrible. I definitely would say the Portuguese league is worse. The MLS refereeing is pretty shitty on some occasions.
Yeah, but they're consistently shitty.
Yeah,
that's it.
They were in the World Cup.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, you have to send a referee from the U.S. to the World Cup, man. The Federation skissed.
But okay, well,
Dave's like, I'm done with this referee.
Let's move on. So shame that Benfica's out. I think that had that penalty been called and we had scored, we're having a different conversation today. Nonetheless,
Bruno Sirigato makes a good point here. He says, in the United States, religion matters. In Portugal, it's football clubs. Pá, dizem em Portugal, futebol é uma religião. No?
Yeah,
and we're the biggest.
I don't disagree. No, I don't disagree. I just think that and if you guys have been following Rui Santos and all the bullshit that's been on Twitter with him really denouncing all the threats that he's been getting after he made an open statement to Sergio Conceição, and now with the refereeing, blah blah blah. Look, I think that there's no end in sight for Portuguese football, and something that we would love to watch more, right? I only watch Portuguese football when Benfica plays. And I think that there's a lot of people like that. And I think that if there was a better joint of qualities that would make Portuguese football more attractive, people in the stands, proper refereeing, proper players, it would be more attractive.
Wasn't it last year or the year before, just recently, the Portuguese league was like 61st in the world in time played, in actual game time played? Out of 90 minutes, they were playing like 61% of the game was stopped.
Yeah, it's
Something
ridiculous.
like that. Or 61, I don't know. I know it was 61.
It's ridiculous. Anyway, it's a shame that Benfica are out. We'll move on. We'll try again next year. Turning our attention now to the Champions League. Champions League is back. The champions. Were you guys excited? Were you excited about the Champions League return, Chris?
I've been looking forward to this for a minute.
Yeah,
I've been looking forward to it. And then when I saw the lineup, I just Paulo went out the window.
Yeah. Benfica's had good success away from Stade de Luz for the Champions League this year. The good match in Turin, good match at Haifa, good match also in Paris.
I think Benfica tied.
I think they haven't lost. They haven't lost.
That's how I was going to go. Benfica tied or broke that 2004, I believe, Porto record of Portuguese team, the longest stretch in the Champions League campaign without losing a game.
Yeah,
they're
last
like
time
at
they
12
lost
games.
was at Bayern, that 5-2 game.
They're at 12 games without losing. That's why I think today was the 12th game without losing. I mean, that's a right. I mean, the fact we won 2-0 on a row, which is the first time we've done that. I don't know how many decades, not decades, but I'm being facetious. But they haven't done that in a while. It just goes to show you the quality of this club. But nonetheless, good for them. Go ahead, Alfred. Get into the lineups because.
Now, Vlaco Dimos, Ba, Silva, Otamendi, Grimaldo across the back, Tino, Chiquinho, Chicão, Chicote, whatever you want to call him, João Mário, Auschnes, Rafa, and Ramos. I guess I'll start with you, Chris. Because
No, go to Dave. Let Dave talk.
Oh, Dave, did you have any stats on Braga? Don't mention him. Let's move on.
We buried it. We buried that.
Let's
Yeah.
move on.
Two red cards to 0.
Dave, looking at this lineup, what were the first thought that comes to mind?
One, you said Chiquinho there, so I guess Schmidt's got this guy. I don't want to say playing better, but he's definitely got, like Chris mentioned, he's got some confidence in him there. I don't know if we would necessarily have said that even a couple of weeks ago, but in Schmidt we trust. One good thing that we have the luxury of having is guys like Gedge and Neres to come off the bench, which they ultimately did in this match. Coming in for guys who've picked up some injuries these last couple of weeks with Gonçalo Ramos and Rafa, they haven't been playing up to their peak performance. So it's great that we have some depth in those positions, something that we've been lacking these last couple of seasons and even earlier this season. So I think it was a tale of almost two different halves, even though it was about the 60th minute, if I'm not mistaken, where they made those substitutions to bring those guys in. But that's the luxury that we have right now with having some of those game changers on the bench and being able to afford to bring those guys in and giving it their all for the second half of the match. But just some of my takeaways from the lineup here.
Yeah. Cristiano, you wanna give the folks your
I came on here. I believe we did a podcast, our beautiful Benfica podcast, that Tuesday. I believe it was Tuesday. Whatever day it was, January 31st, the closing of the window, the day that the whole Enzo situation went down, and the whole explanation. The club didn't bring anybody in to replace the Enzos of the world, and I kind of didn't go really hard. I didn't go in all the way on the club because I'm tired of coming on here and being the Mr. Negativity, right? And so I gave him a pass. I said, look, I wish they would have brought somebody in, but in Roger I trust, because deep down inside, I'm thinking when this shit is all no. When everything's all said and done, everybody's healthy. you're just slide Arsenis back into Enzo's position, and you're playing Florentino and Arsenis in the middle. João Mario, Neres, Guedes, Rafa, and Gonçalo Ramos flip a coin. One guy will be out. Plenty of offensive weapons, but the core of the guys in the middle is going to be Arsenis and Florentino. But to my freaking amazement, it's Chicon. And it's like, wait a minute. Had I thought then there was any slight possibility that Chicon would have been the option, I would have been screaming off the top of my lungs. But I said, Roger, I trust it's gonna be Arsenis. And bro, to my amazement, look, it's one thing to see Chicon play against the Rocas of the world, against the Estrela Maduras of the world, against whomever the hell we've been playing lately. But even Braga, I was already surprised. And I said, okay, Rafa was injured, Ramos wasn't 100%. Next game, these guys will be back. Bro, when I saw the lineup today, so to my amazement, Chiquinho starting in the road in the Champions League. I mean, do you really have any aspirations of advancing in this competition? And I said it then. Go check my messages, because I stayed off Twitter on purpose. And regardless of what the outcome of this game is, I can't fathom. I will not understand what the hell's going through their mind in playing Chiquinho on the road. I just don't, playing in the Champions League. And then, as I'm still now I'm irritated. And I'm watching this team again. You know, I'm like, you have the likes of David Neres, Gonçalo Guedes, guys that have played at the highest levels, right? Guys that have nothing to prove in this world, who are natural-born wingers. Yet you're insisting on playing Chicon down the middle with Arsenis and João Mario on the wings. I just, to me, bro, I don't comprehend that. And I get it. He won the game. It came out. It looked like freaking smelled like roses the whole nine. But I just can't comprehend. To me, I feel I got the same feeling today that I've had in recent years with Luis Felipe Vieira, which is just people are content to settle. And that's the feeling I got today.
Do you obviously, you know, I could find logic in the move, right? But I'll ask you this, Chris. Do you think that Roger Schmidt was too much of he had too much of a conservative approach
Today? I mean,
because
bro, he's gonna go with what he's been
let's
consistent.
break this down.
To me, bro, to me, this is a 3-0 win all the way down.
Who's your lineup? If you had to set the lineup, the back four are gonna stay the same.
No, I don't like Ba, but I don't got another alternative. I can't stand Ba. Dave, how about them apples?
Who's your lineup?
I think Ba, I'm tired of hearing Ba and
So who's
seeing
your
Ba.
lineup?
Look, he wins by default. There's nobody else. But that being said, fine. Give me the back five. I'm playing team. But now, based on the way I've been reading it.
If you're the coach,
the way I've been reading it.
Who's your 11?
What's his name? Roger Schmidt is obviously obviously playing Chiquinho in that Enzo role, because Chiquinho, I'm not the biggest fan, but he does have better feet than Arsenis. I think he's better at picking out a pass. Now, do I think his quality to play a full 90-minute Champions League? No, I don't. But I do think he's got better feet than Arsenis does. So reading the way that Schmidt's been setting this up, he wants a guy to be in between the lines and getting the ball and being the first line of outlet, whatever. I'm going to go João Mario, because right now it's impossible to take João Mario out of the lineup, and I think he could actually do the role. I know he just doesn't have the intensity of Enzo, but I don't think Chiquinho does as well.
But does Chiquinho have more intensity than João Mario?
I mean, come on, dudes. Like, I mean, really, like, are we really here judging who's got, like, between João Mario and Chiquinho? I mean, really, we're splitting hairs here.
I just need you to justify why you make the choices that you do.
Because, come on, João Mario, look, I'm not the biggest João Mario fan, but he's a much better player, in my opinion. He's a much better player. To me, it's not even a comparison. To me, it's not even a question. I'm playing João Mario. I'm playing David Guedes. I'm playing Rafa. I'm playing David Neres, Rafa, Guedes, and Ramos up top. That's it. That's the best lineup.
You're playing
Chiquinho. Chiquinho's not, bro. To me, I'm playing Arsenis as João Mario before I ever play.
No Tino?
No, Tino's playing. I'm saying for that one role. I'm the only two guys I'm picking from is João Mario
let's
or
bring
Arsenis.
this back. The two middle guys are Tino and João Mario. or Tino and ours for you?
The way he's been, to me,
You're the coach.
I would have thought it was arsonist. To me, he's arsonist.
If you're the coach today
Arsonist.
and you're putting okay, Tino and Arsonist, right? And then who's your 4?
That's the tough question to me. That's the real tough, because it's impossible to take João Mario out of this lineup. The way João Mario, and I can't believe I'm saying this shit. The way João Mario's played this year, you got to keep him in the lineup. Dave, I went from saying this guy ain't got a spot on the roster to like, yo, the way he's played this year, say what you want. I mean, I'm a person, I look, I love
So
to
you
eat
go
crow.
João Mario. And who's playing on the left?
Good.
And who's the 2 guys up front?
Rafa and Ramos. So right now I'm benching Nets. But again, it's a good problem to have. It's a good problem to have.
But you see, these are the problems that Roger has, right?
No. Roger's problem is playing Chiquinho. That's the problem.
That's the problem
Yeah,
that
but
Roger
Netic
has.
off the bench is like it's a lethal weapon.
Yeah.
Like,
I know,
think
but-
this is the like I said, it's a luxury to have that we have David Neres coming off the bench in the 60th minute with
Yo.
all the speed that he
Wait.
can possess.
To me-
when he's-
Yo, Pedro Martins is in the chat.
To me,
Welcome, Pedgy. He's in Australia. I think right now he's like 15 hours ahead, so I just wanted to welcome him.
it's already the weekend.
It's the weekend. My man's already on Saturday night.
To me, it becomes a game of balance for me. So even though we would love to see Neres, Ramos, Rafa, Gedge, all these high-speed guys, there has to be a balance. You can't unbalance the team. I think that's why João Mario has done so great, because he balances the team. I understand the Chiquinho. He wouldn't be my option. Auschnitz would be my option. But like you said, Chiquinho does something
I
on
understand.
that first phase of build-up.
So therefore I play João Mario there. Easy.
But I don't know if João Mario has the engine to do that.
Bro, João Mario's been an 8 his whole life, and all of a sudden he
But
can't
I don't
do
know
it.
if he has I don't know if he has the engine to do that.
Engine what? The guy doesn't stop running up top. He can't do it. He can't track back.
You run a lot more in the middle than you run up top, dude. Especially when you have to come between the 2 center defenders to get ball. And then you got to get into the final third as a box to box. To me, it's all a game of balance. And look, it's good to have these options. Chiquinho wouldn't have been my option for sure. But I understand. I understand the reasons why these guys are in there. And it's good. It's great to have the options that we have off the bench, because now we're not looking at the bench and say, who the hell is going to go in there and make a difference?
It's definitely. I mean, if you recall at the beginning of the season, I'm over here like pulling my hair. Very little I got left. I was going nuts. Like, yo, we look down the bench. We got Chiquinho. We got Gil Diaz. We got Gil Gonçalves. I mean, the options. And look, and the Danish kids aren't even ready yet. They'll be ready soon. That Schaldrup looks like my man's got some Ginga.
Sheldrup's got
That kid's gonna be fun to
ball.
watch. So yes, but to me, I was looking at this as Chiquinho on a roster of 18. He's the 19th guy. You know what I mean? But like now, to my amazement, I mean to my absolute shock. I mean, it's just bananas. This guy's starting Champions League games and playing 90 minutes. I'm like, bro, what? It's just nuts. It's not. And again, had I even suspected for a second. And again, guys, I know you could all disagree, and that's totally fine. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. I'm entitled to mine, and I'm here to voice it, and I'm doing exactly that. Had I for a second, had I dreamt, and I had a nightmare, forget dreamt. That's dreams are good. Nightmare that Chiquinho would have been the alternative to Enzo Fernandez leaving. My God, I would have been going crazy. I wouldn't have come on here like, well, guys,
You and a lot of
football is the way it is. Players want to move. Enzo's going to go. It's 120. I would have like, fuck, forget the 120. Come on, bro. I understand it's Club Brugge, right? Not to be taken lightly, but they're not the strongest opponent, right? But, bro, we really have aspirations of putting a dent in this Champions League and possibly, making a semifinal run. Because, I mean, we're in my mind, we're through already, right? I understand we still got to come home and play Club Brugge, just started to lose, and no game is won until the fat lady sings. I get all that. But I think Benfica is going to get through. And then you are a lucky draw away from me. And you're telling me you're going to go into Santiago Bernabéu, into Anfield. Oh, no, they play each other, right? Liverpool, Real Madrid. I think they play each other, right? If I'm not mistaken, Dave.
Yeah.
I think so. Right? Am I wrong?
Yeah. No, they did.
Right.
All right, whatever. Whichever. You're going to go into whichever one of them wins. So you're going to go into Anfield. You're going to go into Santiago Bernabéu. You're going to go into Stamford Bridge and play Chelsea
The
with
matchup.
Chiquinho? Come on, bro.
Look, just look at any team in the Champions League right now and look at the matchup for Chiquinho. And how does that make you feel? Just think about that.
I don't know. I just
Just think about that. But anyway, look, Chiquinho is not a problem, right? We just feel that he's not enough. He's enough for Bruges. He's enough for the Tugal. But when you're starting to play guys that are top midfielders, top box-to-box guys, top
Bro, you remember last
sixes.
week, Dave, last week he asked, Alfredo asked the question about the Enzo whatever, Chiquinho. And I said, bro, I think everybody's just having fun with this. I mean,
I think so.
I
It's-
hope
it's-
people are having fun. But now
I don't think
people have
people's
really...
serious.
No, bro.
People
Hook,
are
line,
drinking
and
the
sink,
Kool-Aid.
bro. Dave, hook, line, and sink. Yo, Roger Schmidt drank that Kool-Aid. My man put the whole pack, all the packs into one jug. My man put the whole, I don't even, I haven't, when you buy a pack, a box, comes with what, 12 little packs of Kool-Aid? He dumped them all in one Villa, bro. My man drinking the Kool-Aid, and it's, oh my God, it's just, it's hard to watch.
I think that the one thing that we could say about this is that he works with him. He works with the team every single day. He sees things and knows things that obviously we don't know.
Yeah.
We're not there.
You said the same thing about Rui Bomo, and I was telling my man didn't know what he was doing. I was right. Who was right in the end? Dave.
So what are you saying, that Roger Schmidt doesn't know what he's doing?
In this one case.
Ah!
Everything else he's been
No,
top
look,
notch. Love Roger.
obviously, when you look at his performances these past few games, you can't say that Benfica has faltered or he's had bad games. As a matter of fact, he's had decent games. And nobody's questioning that he's had good games or whether he's played well or not. The only thing that we're bringing up is that we don't feel that he's at the caliber of Benfica going far in the Champions League. That's all we're really saying.
Look, man. Nick Valadon says, yeah, we have a solid depth this year. We have a lot of comments here.
Go ahead. We'll read some comments.
Diogo Reyes says João Mario can be our 8 till I get messed up and bring in Nev's last 10 seconds. What up, fellas, from Miranda. Nick Valadon, we haven't seen the Bacalhau brothers, what they can do yet. Fast forward, this is absolutely a way you can take João Mario out of the starting lineup. Roger, there is absolutely, I guess, no way. I'm trying to say no way. You can take João Mario out of the lineup. Roger has him playing out of his mind. Hugo Ferrer says, I can't believe I saw Chiquinho starting in 11 role in the Champions League football. Yeah, top levels of embarrassment. This is from Zach. Zach also believes that João Neves is the answer. So I guess take that top comment as,
I don't
as you want.
know. I see the potential in João Neves. I just don't think he's ready.
Bruno Siriga says Milan would be Milan will be good, but that's my second love. I got two loves in the world of football, you know that very well. But yeah, I mean, look, it is what it is. At the end of the day, Benfica above everything. So we'll see what happens. I mean, we still got another game to play at Stade de Luz. I think Benfica will do enough, obviously, to get away with that. I thought Benfica today coming into the game, I was predicting a 3-0 result. But yeah, there's some things, as I stated, in the lineup that left me scratching my head. But fortunately for us Benfiquistas, and that's the important thing, regardless of what my opinion or your opinion is, fact is that Benfica did enough to win the game. They could have won the game a little bit easier. They have plenty of opportunities. But at the end of the day, the important thing is that Benfica went on the road, got their first win by multiple goals in the Champions League since, I was saying a long time, I didn't remember somebody here on the chat says 2006 against Liverpool, which is probably correct. So it just shows the improvement of this team in this competition, which has been absolutely embarrassing for so many years. And for a short spell there, the first, 17, 20 minutes of this game, it felt a little bit like that. It felt like the bright lights were maybe affecting Benfica a little bit. It took them a little while to get their feet under them, but once they did, Benfica started creating opportunity after opportunity and never were really in danger after that.
Yeah, no, look, it was a start that we expected from Bruges coming out, playing at home, Champions League. Players are excited, they're motivated, but I think that Benfica had a really smart approach. We soaked up that initial pressure, we stabilized the game, and then we started imposing our game. I mean, in his first half, you had that header from Antonio Silva after
Oh, my
that
God.
back pass from Otamendi.
Sozinho.
I mean, that has to be. I mean, you're front and center of the goal. You got to put that away. He puts it over. Then you had the Rafa thing. It hit the upright.
No, what about the one? What about the one that I think João Mari or Bach crossed and went right through it on the goal line?
Yeah.
It went right through Rafa's legs. I mean, they had a couple of opportunities. I just wanted to mention that one as well.
Yeah, and then Ramos's header in the 37th minute also missed that. I mean, we had a few chances to go up in the locker room up in the score, but we came back and basically we started the second half on
Missing. Started the second half missing.
missing.
Gonçalo Ramos had a clear one in front of the goal. We started missing. And then the referees did their job. There was a clear penalty. Gonçalo Ramos showed exactly what he's really good at, which is his work rate. The fact the guy never stands still. He always gives it his shift.
And it's not the first time that he
No,
gets a
absolutely
penalty
not.
like that. Was already Champions League in the end line. He sneaked behind the guy, and the guy ended up kicking him, and it was a penalty. I forget who was that.
Was that
we
against
played.
PSG?
I think it might have
What?
been. PSG was at
Which
the top
one?
of the box.
Which one?
It was just like a similar thing that he was at the end line. Gonçalo Ramos was at the end line. I don't know if it was already the group stages or if it was in qualifiers. Might have been the qualifiers. But yeah, that's what the kid is good at. He just hustles,
Yeah,
gets himself in a position. But the thing is that it's just the finishing is not there.
Yeah, I mean, look, we've said this over and over and over and over here on the podcast, and I'm pretty sure all the other projects and podcasts have said the same thing. That look, in today's game, it didn't cost Benfica, right? And we've constantly, I think we beat this
there you go.
dead horse already.
Nico Marcelino and Gotti B, Juventus.
Okay,
Yeah, that's what it was.
but we've said this over and over and over and over, which was Benfica has to get a lot more clinical in their finishing third.
Yeah.
Because you're going to go up against teams like a Paris Saint-Germain, right? In a second leg, in a second game, I should say, of the group stage in Paris. We really didn't pose as much threat as we did at home, and you're going to get very few opportunities, and you have to take. In today's game, look, the opposition wasn't the strongest, and we got fortunate. We missed, but eventually you win it. As the level goes up, you're not going to get opportunity but you might get 2-3 opportunities in the game, and you have to bury one.
Yeah. No, that's
Today,
exactly right.
it worked out for Benfica, but we hope it don't bite us in the ass anytime soon.
Yeah, but here's the thing, and goes back to what Chris was saying in terms of what our performances have been in the Champions League is quite a different way from previous seasons, right? I think it's a Benfica that shows themselves a little bit more mature. Defensively, there's a lot of good things that are happening defensively, and I'm not just talking about the back line, but throughout the field. And I think that Benfica has also learned how to control the game, right? Don't expose yourself, control the game, hold the ball. And I think that Benfica is doing that well. And in the past, we might have been, biting our fingernails and hoping that that Bruges wouldn't score a goal in the last 15 minutes of the game.
But your heart did skip a beat, though, when they scored that offside goal, right?
Yeah.
Mine did. Mine
yeah,
did.
but I never thought that that Benfica was in danger.
Well,
Even
I
though
did when they scored.
They scored, but I always thought that Benfica would
I
have
thought
it
they were in
in them.
danger to start the game. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
to start the game with, like I mentioned, the first 17, 20 minutes wasn't what we expected going
But
into
I
this game.
always- I
But
always-
once they scored that, bro, come on, I was like,
But the
it's going to be another one of those games where we miss. These guys get the one opportunity, and we're going to be suffering the rest of the game.
But the thing for me is that when Benfica turns it on, and we've seen this throughout the season, when Benfica turns it on, they could get things. They could get the ball in front of goal. They could get the men up top and in front of goal and create those chances. And I think that we see a Benfica that as different speeds.
But Alfredo turns
and
it on
all
against,
deliberate.
against who? Casapia.
I understand. I
mean,
understand.
We're talking about a team that went into
Completely
the
understand.
Dragão and beat Porto 3-0. So now you're having a rough start to the game. Before you know it, you're missing chance
I
after
think it was-
chance,
it
and they
was-
score a goal, and then you have back flashes, which is flashbacks, not back flashbacks. I'm like, maybe I was undervaluing this team because they did go into the Dragão and beat them 3-0. But then once Benfica got their rhythm once again, it was one-way traffic. But I mean, for that 1 minute, Dave.
No, but
your
I
heart
think
skipped a beat.
Benfica expected that. You have to expect that. That's how you expect that game to start. A home team, Champions League group stages. They haven't been doing all that great domestically. This is their time to shine.
Nuno says 4-0. Exactly, it was 4, whatever, 3-4.
4-0 at
Yeah,
Dragão.
exactly. So I mean, it did bring back the flash, and it made me for a second. Did I underestimate? Because to me, it was a game, and they had clear chances to score. Benfica could have
The
walked
second
away.
half, they didn't have any chances.
No, I'm talking about Benfica. Benfica had clear chance
Oh.
to walk away with a 4-5-0 victory here, but the fact that
Buried
they
it.
weren't scoring. Again, is it the first time we've seen Benfica create, and not score, and the other team goes on the opposite counterattack, and before we know it, they're trailing?
Yeah, and that's what the difference is between this Benfica and years past. Is I think that we control the game a lot better. Can we still let in a goal? Yeah, without a doubt. But I think that Benfica has better game management skills under Roger Smith than previous coaches. And that goes back to Rui Bombo.
Dave, what you think about the game?
Yeah, Dave. Give us your honest opinion.
I told Alfredo at the beginning there, Buchanan down the wing there was scaring me a bit. I think Bruges wasn't playing with. Well, they weren't playing with Yaremchuk, and their guy that they had there as their center striker, Lang, isn't a.
But he's a nice player.
He's a nice player. He's got
Really
some
nice
speed. He's more of
player.
a winger.
Yeah.
He's got so they had us beat on those wings there between Buchanan and Lang. If they had a real finisher there, could have been a different story because Lang is not a striker. He's got the speed, but he's not a finisher. And same thing with Buchanan. So with
I had a great idea, Dave, for Bruges.
what's that?
Whatever money you owe Benfica for Yaremchuk, keep it and send us Lang or Buchanan. I'll take either one.
I think
Yeah.
Buchanan's a little
I
soft.
like Lang though. Lang's a nice
Lang
player.
is nice. Lang is nice. I think Buchanan
And
is
you
a
could
little
tell he was
soft.
exchanging shirts with Neds after the game. Like, yo, bro, take
Oh, they
me
were
out of here.
former teammates.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, Dave. I'm sorry.
No, that was just gonna say that they had this beat on those wings there, and I thought I was even contemplating whether or not Gilberto instead of Ba in that situation would be better for some more physicality to stop those guys on the wings because they had us beat there the first 20 minutes to start the game. But I think the team made adjustments and you didn't see as many of those runs in the second half or even after the initial 20 minutes. But I did like what I saw out of Lang and Buchanan there from Bruges, but they really lacked any real striker.
Yeah, didn't Ba learn anything from the Braga game? He has a play where he jumps up and comes down with studs on top of a guy to do a move like a back heel move. Didn't he learn anything?
Well, he didn't
against
come
Braga?
down on top of the guys. If he did, he would have gotten a red card.
Yeah, but it was close.
Yeah, I think he. Yeah, it just
Anytime that you leave your feet, it's
Man,
negligent.
look. We hate to come on here and shit on guys, but the fact is, he's not been the same player for a while. He's been a huge liability. I believe right after the World Cup, I think like the first 5 goals Benfica gave up, they were all down his right side.
I think he's.
Right,
I think
Dave?
he's improved.
Some crazy stat like that. You think he's improved? I think he's taking a step back.
No, I think he's improved. I think out of
I
all
wouldn't-
the
I
right
wouldn't
backs
go-
that
I
we've had,
Oh.
he's probably the best crosser of the ball.
Oh, now he's just
But when you
pulling my
play
leg.
with the backs with
mean,
with the
you get-
fullbacks that projected, you're gonna need guys.
You
that
have
make
a
crosses.
right back that centered the ball and scored a Puskas goal. And you gonna tell me this
doesn't know
guy's the best?
He doesn't know how.
I mean, look.
No, I think that there's a lot of upside to Ba.
Yeah. I hope Benfica signs Nelson Smith on a free in the summer and tells Ba to buy your ass out of here.
Bye-bye.
Vaya vida.
Bye-bye. See you later, bye. So Gens came in for Rams, Ners came in for Rafa, and I think both of those guys are still not at 100%.
No, but they caused some trouble.
Rafa had a really
Rafa was terrible
he
today.
was terrible.
I
but
thought he was terrible.
He's not there yet.
Bro, the fact, look, as soon as guys, I'm being honest, and trust me, I am quite possibly the coldest person you'll meet. And when I say coldest, I don't mean cold-hearted. I hate, bro. It's like 60 degrees. I'm like, "Epa, tô com frio," right? I mean, I'm always cold.
Tens o termostato todo fodido.
But when you saw Rafa with the white tighties under, you knew it was gonna be one of those bad days. You could just tell, bro. I
Maybe
said
he
this
just
guy's
got new tattoos, and he was trying to kind of preserve him or something.
Well,
I don't know.
if he's getting new tattoos,
Cold is bad for your tattoos.
if he's
Did you know that?
if no, I don't have any. If he's getting tattoos leading into games in the Champions League, somebody should sit down and have a serious talk with him.
No, that's just me speculating.
Oh, wait, but either
Was
way,
it
He was a
Rafa or
little
was
cold.
it Pizzi that would always? I'm trying to think of previous seasons. They'd come out on fire August, September, October, and then once
it
the
was
winter
Rafa.
months would come.
Pizzi had a little
They'd
bit of
be-
that too, but Pizzi was a little bit more consistent. But it was Rafa.
Okay.
Rafa would always whether it was the start, Dave, or in the middle, or at the end. Rafa would have a 2-month stretch but my man was unstoppable.
Yeah, look,
And then just
I think it's good to have options.
no, for now, I'm not
So,
ragging on
and I
Rafa.
think that
I'm just saying he didn't have a good game. He didn't have one of his best
when-
games today. That's
when
it.
There's a lot of pressure on you to be the one sole spark in what your team does or whether your team does well or not, and not to have that pressure anymore. It has to feel good for Rafa, I think.
See, I mean,
And
that's fine, but he's still, but Alfredo, it has to feel good. But at the end of the day, he still has to perform. He's
absolutely.
the guy we all look to.
But maybe the
Because
pressure.
when Rafa is going, Benfica is going.
But maybe the pressure's not as intense.
No, listen, that Benfica, the pressure is always.
It's always, yeah. 88 minutes, Neres picked up on a mistake and scored the second goal. Gives us a nice little cushion. But look, I think when you look at this team and understanding of what they came to the Dragão and did, you can't discount this team, and you gotta put this game away.
And the one thing that people, because I've had a couple people mention to me, bro, this team's horrendous. They're like 20 points behind first place,
they are.
which is correct. But there's a madness behind the thought process. There's a madness,
What is it?
which is in the Belgian league, there is a playoff system after the season. So all you got to do is finish top 4, and then you play. So they rested a lot of their players just because of like games like
20
today.
points out.
Yeah, but who cares? As long as they finish top 4, now they're in the playoffs. Which we see it in the MLS, right? And I know there's some leagues in Europe. I know the new Chelsea owner, Bowley, whatever his name is, he mentioned, with the playoff system, it's great for TV, it's great for money, but it really devalues the regular season.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, is Bruges quality a team that's 20 points off the pace in their own domestic
Probably
league,
not.
or they just riding the horse until they really have to?
I mean, they're back to back champions in the Belgium
And
in the Jupiler,
they got Yaramchuk.
and they got Logan.
It's okay.
Também não.
Oh, Ay, Jesus.
No, what's that guy's name? Noah what?
Art? I don't know. What are you talking
Number
about? Noah's
10.
Ark?
No,
Oh,
you're
Lang.
talking-
Lang. He's a
Yeah,
good
it said
player.
Logan. It's Lang. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, you see, look, Rainy Entertainment says he's fresh off an injury right now, so just can't judge his game. Absolutely, no.
Still,
Look, I'm not
Rafa-
ragging on the guy, but
no.
but-
we're
but
we're
he just-
cool.
he
We're
didn't-
cool with Rafa.
no, we're cool, but he didn't have a good game. That's all I'm saying.
No, and
Yeah.
you can't have expected him to have a good game coming off an injury. So let him go, let him rest up. Let him get back to 100%. We got options. That's all you need to worry about. March 7th, this is the second leg.
7th or
at,
17th?
7th.
Wow.
Right, Dave? No, it can't be the
No,
17th.
you're probably right.
dude.
No, you're probably right.
Yeah, it can't. It can't be that late.
March 7th is.
But I'm laughing. I'm asking because my cousin called me yesterday for me to buy a box at the Stade de Luz for the March 17th game against Bruges. So maybe he
March
can buy
7.
maybe he can buy a box after all, because maybe it's against.
It will be available.
Maybe they'll be available.
There'll be plenty of them. Anyway,
Pedgy says Bruges won the league last season through the playoffs.
Last 3
Yeah.
years.
I don't know, but he said through the playoffs.
But
last season.
they finished second in the regular season,
Yeah.
5 points behind. Who was it here?
Yeah.
Union finished with
Union?
77. Yeah.
Nuno M, Mr. Positivity here, he's stealing my thunder. He says we need a new goalie, a new right back, a 8, and a top tier
Epa.
striker next. Epa,
It's
make keep over.
That's a lot of guys.
But you know what's crazy? I agree with him.
Hey, you know what? I can't look. You can't fault somebody for being ambitious for wanting to see Benfica at the
I agree with him though.
at the upper echelon of Europe.
I agree with
That's
him.
what we need.
A new goal. That kid Andre looks. Is it Andre?
Andre.
That kid Andre looks good. Right back's gonna be Nelson Smith, who's coming back. 8. I don't know. They said that they had an extensive list.
No,
But they went from 20 million to 50. So maybe they'll be back at 20 million in the summer.
what was that Japanese guy? Now seems like half the Europe is
That
after
man's
him.
nice at Frankfurt. That's right. He's a really good player. I forgot his name though.
Frankfurt?
Yeah,
Or
Frankfurt.
Eintracht.
Eintracht Frankfurt.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Right, Dave?
Eintracht,
Yeah,
right.
you guys
is.
are both talking about the same.
It is.
Eintracht Frankfurt?
Yeah.
Frankfurt Eintracht?
Whatever. Yeah, that's the name of the team.
All right.
That's the team that Mario Götze opted to play for. You think he's right now? Mario Götze is probably kicking himself in
Kamada
the
is
ass.
the Japanese
Kamada,
guy,
Kamada,
right?
yes, from Frankfurt. I whatever. Frank.
Kamada.
Yeah, Kamada, Kamada.
Kamada que não entendereis.
Uma camada, olha o Chico Marcelino. Marcelino é que está com uma camada de sono e ainda anda aqui a textar.
Kamada, yeah,
It
that's
is
right.
Kamada, it is Kamada.
Yeah, Kamada.
He plays for
Anyway,
Eintracht Frankfurt.
yeah. Next up, Boa Vista. Dave,
Hey,
what do you got?
Monday.
Boa Vista. Let me see here. I got to get these.
It's Monday
back
at
up.
Cellular Luge.
Monday, yeah. We
No,
were
it's
discussing why
Abessa.
they were playing on a Monday when the leagues got Porto playing on.
Is it at the
Porto and
best or at the
Braga.
Stadio de Luz?
Is that the best, right, Dave?
No, it's at the it's at the Luge. We played at the best at the beginning.
Oh yeah, you're
September.
right. That was no. Yeah, you're right though. Yeah.
Dave is always right.
Historically, 76 wins, 34 draws, 20 defeats in our previous 130 meetings. Last 5, 2 wins, 2 draws, 1 loss. Boavista this season are currently in 9th with 26 points from 7 wins, 5 draws, 8 losses. And Boavista's record away from the best, 2 wins, 1 draw, 6 defeats. Their last victory away from the best came in September, so pretty poor away from the best.
Did you know that their highest paid player is American?
What's that? Reggie Cannon? Is he
Reggie
still there?
Cannon, highest paid player on the team, bro. Americans are making a dent in Europe. Alfredo, thoughts on this game?
I don't know. We always worry about the European hangover.
But they play. By the time they play this game,
I
is
know,
I
was talking to Dave. Why are they playing on Monday? Why can't they play on Sunday?
Because the Pope comes in. I don't know. Pope comes for his visit before he comes over in August. I don't know. It makes no sense, man. They're moving
No.
games ahead. It's just.
Why can't they just play on Sunday?
And then they play what? Thursday, right? Right, Dave?
No, they can't play Thursday.
No,
Thursday
then
for what?
no. There's no midweek game. They play Monday and then they play the following Saturday.
Oh, so I don't know what the hell I was thinking about.
Monday and then Saturday, Dave.
I need to
Yeah.
start looking at these schedules ahead
Holy
of time.
moly!
Yeah, they play. So I mean, it's good for us. Everybody's gonna rest up. It's gonna give Charles Rupp and Tankstad an opportunity to play a couple more games, probably with the B team in this meantime.
I think
get
they might
these-
be done with the B team. I think I might have read something.
No, the coach said they were gonna play 2 games, and they did. But
That's it.
now you got a game every 6 weeks. It seems like play the guys. You got to get them to play at some point.
Yeah.
I need to pay attention to
Look
these.
at the calendar.
Yeah, I knew it was
listen,
Monday.
they've only got 2 games scheduled from here on. They still haven't scheduled the games following. So they got Boavista on the 20th and they've got Vizela on the 25th. They haven't come out with March's schedule. They'll wait till February 28th to release
Oh yeah, Vizela on
the March schedule.
Yeah, Vizela on the 25th. So yeah, Bruges
At Vizela.
Vizela.
right?
They got rid of the coach with the hat, right?
Yeah.
I believe so.
And then I guess they got between the 25th and the 7th, they probably got another game in there, Dave. Right?
That's what they were saying.
The-
You'll find out by the 28th.
Yeah, but we don't know who we're playing.
Oh,
Who
you
we're
So
playing?
we've got
After
Famalicão
Vizela.
on. Wait,
Okay, then that's who it is.
tentatively scheduled is on the on the 3rd,
Famalicão.
but they haven't released a time or date.
Yeah, because the
that
Portuguese league, that's one thing the Portuguese league is good. They take after.
They got to
take
see
after
what
La Liga.
referee is available.
No, but they make sure that the Portuguese teams, especially in a competition like this, that they don't have too many games right before. They want to give these guys enough time to rest to play in these.
Is that what they do?
Yeah. That's why they changed. That's why the whole Pasta Freire stuff was changed and all. É uma bacalhoada, assim.
Yeah.
Uma caldeirada dessas.
All right, everybody. What else is out there? You want to? What's everybody up to in the chat? Thanks everybody for being.
Yeah, you guys
in
are
the chat.
phenomenal.
Don't forget to subscribe if it's your first
Even-
time here. Turn on your
And
notifications.
press the like button. The
Because,
like.
Smash the like button.
Smash that shit. The thing is that
Not dislike. Like.
we come in on Tuesdays, sometimes on Wednesdays when there's games on Wednesdays. But the thing is that we never have a starting time. So if you want to be alerted to what time we go live, just hit that little bell so you can be notified.
Oh, ding, 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 ding,
Be
ding.
notified.
Yeah, I mean, we got a bunch of people in the chat, and there's only 3 likes. É uma vergonha, pá.
Hey, pois é,
Vergonha.
Hey guys,
pá. Vocês, é, pá.
smash that like button, man.
Yeah, and go follow,
It's-
go subscribe to my channel.
What channel?
Here on YouTubers.
You got a channel?
10CO10, baby.
You got 3 videos.
No, I got
One with 3 views, one with 5 views, and one with 10,000 views.
10,000. Like 200, bro.
200,000?
Yeah, people want to see my beautiful face.
200,000 views?
Yeah, in that one video. Or like 2 million. I don't know. It's
And
a
the last
lot.
time you
What were
posted
you doing?
content
What were
was
you doing in that video?
no, it was he filmed the Stadio Luz singing Ser Benfiquista. If I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
but I show my face though. I have
You think that's the
I
the
have
face sold
of course. I have what's his name? Tyler Adams interview up there. Aaron Long interview. I have a fight between the Benfica bus and the Sporting Braga bus for the Supertaça in Rafa's first game at Benfica. I believe it was his first game at Benfica.
it? Man, now you're really going back.
But it's a fight, bro. Fights are iconic. They're legendary, right, Dave? It's like Kimbo Slice. He's
Okay.
forever iconic.
All right, everybody.
Videos of Tondela pitch. That's right. Peggy mentions videos of Remember the whole Tondela stuff?
That was more pictures than videos, I think.
No, but I had videos as well.
You had videos of the Tondela pitch.
That's when I was allowed to go to Portugal. Now I can't go.
You can't go to Portugal? All right, everybody. Thanks, everybody, for keeping us company in the chat. We appreciate it very much.
We love you guys very much.
Be back next Tuesday. We'll break down this Boa Vista game, and we'll see what else we play. Take care, everyone. Later.